When did you first start playing squash?
I started playing squash at 8 years old in my hometown of Sheffield in England.
I started when I was about 4 years old. Mum and Dad both played, so maybe even a little bit before. I've got pictures of me hitting the ball when I was 4, so pretty young.
11 all, hand out.
I started playing squash when I was 6 years old. I probably started playing tournaments when I was 7, like in under-9s age group.
When I was about 3 years old, my parents played squash, so I was always hanging around squash courts with my little sister, and just as soon as I could walk and hold a racket, I was pushing the ball around the floor, and it just from there I've just spent hours and hours at the squash club. I loved playing.
Per week I probably train 4 hours a day, 6 days a week, so 24 hours I guess.
It's changed over the years. I used to train like twice a day, sort of 2 hours in the morning, 2 or 3 in the afternoon. While I was living in Belgium, now obviously later in my career I'm a little bit, don't train quite as much. Try and look after my body a bit more. Probably just sort of doing probably 1 good session a day, sometimes 2, but it's sort of a lot more sort of rest and sort of shorter sessions these days. Just trying to sort of short, sharp sessions, get the most out of it, and not try to look after my body as much as I can and try to stay injury free.
Training I would do normally in the season varies from in the off season. So in the off season it's a lot more off court work, weights, really development work, whereas in the season you've got a lot more on court stuff, match play, a lot more plyometric speed work to get sharp for the next tournament, because tournaments come thick and fast in the season, and you're basically always looking to try and develop your game, your speed, your fitness. You know, there's a lot. The problem is with squash, there's so many different areas that you can improve. You know, there's the endurance, speed, technical. So you know, tactical. There's 1,000,001 different things. So it's hard to improve everything. You guess you got to pick the areas that need the biggest improvement and work on them.
Most afternoons, like pretty much every afternoon, is a squash session, and then in the mornings I'll either do a gym session or a running session, so maybe 3 gym sessions, 3 running sessions.
Well, these days I don't do as much as I used to, because I'm getting a bit older now, and obviously, you know, squash is quite hard on the body, so I do lots of easier stuff these days. I get on court once a day, if that, and I just try and I do some classes at the gym and just try and mix things up, really. Nothing too intense, not like on my joints and stuff, but just trying to enjoy myself, really.
Training, the last couple of months I've been doing, normally in the summer I do track work and do the sprints on the track. This year I decided not to. I was picking up too many injuries last year from it, so this time I stayed pretty much all my training on court, a lot of routines trying to stimulate sort of match practice, and then I did a lot of work with a personal trainer in America on my speed and strength work, so trying to increase my speed again around the court. Probably felt a little bit end of last season the speed was slowing down a little bit, so did a lot of plyometric, a lot of speed training over the summer, just trying to improve that speed. And obviously you can see the matches the last couple of days, how fast you have to be. So I was pretty happy with the way I moved, and it looks like the work I've done over the summer has paid off, so I'm happy.
I was inspired to become a professional squash player when I was doing pretty well on the junior circuit in England. When I was about 15, 16 years old maybe, I started to think I could maybe earn a career out the game. It wasn't easy to sort of become a pro. It's probably the hardest thing, going from being a junior to being a pro, and thanks to a lot of support from sort of England, Sport England, lottery funding, and that enabled me to turn pro at 18.
My mum was a squash player, and that's how I sort of got into it. But as far as becoming a professional, when I was growing up, Sarah Fitzgerald and Michelle Martin were #1 in the world at different times, and you know, I had posters of them on my wall, and so they were like my idols. So you know, having Australian #1s definitely helped.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just loved playing squash from when I was a kid growing up, and then as I went through school, and you know, I got to the end of high school, it just kind of seemed like, well, this is an all right thing to do if I can do it for a job. So, you know, I enjoy doing it, and I can travel the world, and if I can make a living doing it, it sounds good to me. So have a go, and I haven't looked back.
I loved all sports, and I played a lot of sports at schools, and I just wanted to be professional at some sport. And probably when I was about 14 or 15, sort of realised I had to choose one, and squash was my favourite. And just always, I don't know, just always wanted to be a top sports person. I don't really know why, but just that was the goal.
Popularity of squash, you know, it varies all around the world. You know, some places like in the Middle East at the moment, it's absolutely booming. In England and Australia, for example, I think it's stayed at a steady level, and we're trying to grow it now over the next few years. Hopefully, getting in the Olympics will help with that.
Well, obviously as a squash player, I'd like it to be a lot more popular. You know, it's hard for me to, you know, see it in Australia. It's not booming like it used to be, and so we just got to look at ways now to try and get it back to what it was, and even better than that. And I mean, it's got so much potential with glass courts and things like that. So hopefully, you know, if everyone puts their heads together, we can sort of get the ball rolling, get it going.
You know, obviously in Australia, you can be a top player and no one knows who you are. So I mean, it's unlucky, but yeah, I don't know what to do about it, really.
I think people enjoy squash, they just don't get to see it enough. And popularity is about seeing things regularly. And popular things is about seeing things on TV, in the media. That's what makes things popular. So everyone knows what squash is. Everyone at some point has either played a game of squash, whether it's at school or with a mate down at a local club. What will make it popular is when you see it on TV as regular as cricket and football and tennis. And you see it one week, and then you see it the next week, and then you say, oh, I remember that play from last week, and you get a familiarity with some of the players, and then that's what makes it popular. So everyone knows what it is, we're just not in the media enough to get that popular, to be as popular as football or cricket or tennis or golf.